Morning. It is Wednesday morning. It is August the 17th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully get your day started off on the right note, and hopefully get you updated on everything there is to know about the world of weather. There is some things to talk about, my friends. We've had some quiet coffee talks here recently. First, on the left, the first local thing. Turning stormy. This afternoon is going to be quite active. We'll talk more about that, time it out, talk about what kind of threats the storms could provide and all that jazz. But, just want to make sure you know about it. Second thing is that the tropics are starting to show signs of waking up. That is a little wave that by this weekend may try to make a run for something of development. And this just the first of what some computer models are saying could be many things waking up. So, yeah, we are starting to get things going. That said, let's just take a live look outside on our Tower Cam network and see what's doing. There's a shot from New Smyrna Beach. It was jam-packed yesterday with people enjoying by lunchtime when I saw you on West 2 News at noon. Nice and quiet now, but we're starting to see signs of life, starting to see people show up. So certainly it's going to be another great beach day. Temperature-wise, while we don't keep records in New Smyrna Beach, we hit record values in Daytona Beach and in Melbourne. So it was toasty there with a west-southwest wind. At this hour, it's 79 degrees in Titusville, 78 degrees in Daytona Beach, 79 degrees in Orlando, and a little lower, 73 in Palm Bay. That may not be right. May have to check that sensor. Don't know that I believe that. All right, let's take a look and see. First warning live Doppler radar already showing some rains over here across the Nature Coast. It's a relatively quiet setup in our area, but Crystal River back over towards Zephyr Hills, we're watching a few of these showers, and those showers are kind of moving in little bit by little bit. Rutland, Bushnell, Wildwood, don't be surprised when you start to see some darker skies on the horizon. And eventually that will get our daily rains getting going. So where do we go from here? Let's just take a look at the forecast, okay? This morning, nice and quiet, though notice that pushing to about, say 11, 12 o'clock, we're going to start to popcorn up the showers. And then into the late afternoon, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, that's really where we get those showers and storms firing up. 40, 50, 60% coverage of rain through the afternoon. So it is going to be a stormier day today. And given some of the dynamics, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some stronger wind gusts, some severe thunderstorm warnings firing up. It's going to be one of those kinds of days. William, good morning to you. How are you? Tina, Jeannie, good morning. Nancy, Nikki, Dana, howdy, howdy. Chris, Connie, good morning, good morning. Carol, good morning to you. Usually at work by now. William's running late. I'll issue a note to the boss if you need. All right. Brian, good morning to you over in Citra. Had a little bit of rain out that way yesterday. Jennifer, yes, it was. Had an outdoor event with my daughter in Ormond last night. Very toasty indeed. That southwest wind does it every time. Notice bottom left corner there, wind west 10 to 15. It may not be as hot as yesterday because it's not that southwest wind, but a west wind is almost as hot for Central Florida. So plan accordingly, my friends. Jamie, good morning. Frankie, good morning to you. He says good morning to you. My lawn is burnt, need the rain. Oh, yeah, looks like a regular summer day. I would say, though, Michael, that we're into a bit of a higher coverage of rain today at 60%. Normal for Florida is 40 to 50% coverage. And the dynamics are there to get, like normal, a few isolated stronger storms. So here's temperatures today, okay? Notice Daytona Beach, you're not going to be at 95. Notice Melbourne, you're not going to be at 96. So it's going to be hot, just not quite as hot. 94 today in Orlando, 94 today in the Villages, 93 for us in Ocala. Average high is 92, so we're still hanging in that above average high temperature regime. Yeah. All right. Jennifer, good morning. Frank says, just had a pretty good little storm blow through here. Yeah, we were looking at that on the radar. So where do we go from here this afternoon? Here's Futurecast, 8 o'clock. We see the rains out west, so I think it's doing a fine job. Mostly fading that out. May see in Sumter or Polk counties a little bit of that rain trying to sneak on in. But most of that fades out, okay? Here's lunchtime on Futurecast. A few spotty showers out west. Notice by about 2 o'clock, we're going to start to get more energy developing those showers, and even into thunder showers. 4 p.m., we'll be tracking widespread showers and storms, and 4, 5, 6, that's about the best coverage of rain. Notice it's up and down the I-95 corridor, up and down the I-4 corridor, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, all the way down through, say, the east side of town, Union Park, UCF, Avalon Park, Waterford Lakes, those areas. And then out toward like Apopka, Winter Garden, Gotha, and Howey in the Hills, Leesburg, back over toward Wildwood, kind of clearing out just thereafter. Though Brevard County, friends, what did I always say? Be careful what you wish for, right? Like 8, 9, 10 o'clock could get a little of those lingering rains marching in your neighborhood. But it never rains in Melbourne. It's been raining in Melbourne the last couple of days. You were begging for it. Now you got it. Indeed, indeed. Linda, good morning to you. Pup is not ready to go for a walk. Guess she knew it was coffee talk time. I guess so. Meanwhile, Stella's over there every morning like, you going to take me out or what? Yep. Good morning to you, Catherine. How are we looking for tomorrow? We're headed toward the Magic Kingdom in the afternoon. I would say that there's going to be some storms around tomorrow. We're kind of into this stormier than average weather pattern. Let me show you the overall setup, and then we can take a look at kind of the favorabilities, all right? So here's the setup, if I can find the graphic. Nope. Here we are. Okay. All right, so we've got this front north of us, right? So it's helping to invigorate the shower and thunderstorm coverage, and it's not just for today, it's going to be for tomorrow as well. That storm helps to really fire up the activity, and then looking into the weekend, high pressure to our south starts to build in, and it'll help to taper off the rain chances just a little bit. So let's do this. Let's take a look at Futurecast for tomorrow, since you asked. 5 a.m. we're looking good. 10, 11 we're looking good. Right? But you can see those storms really blowing up through the afternoon. There's 2 p.m. tomorrow. Right? For what it's worth, widely scattered showers and thunder showers, right? 3, 4. Yeah, tourist district is going to be getting stormed on tomorrow. So if you're heading to the parks tomorrow, just know that that's what you're working with, right? Sorry, Catherine. Sorry about that. Jason, good morning to you. Good morning. Loving all the rain, Rosebud over on YouTube says. Oh, I agree. So rain chances these next couple of days are going to be with us. But I do want to make sure you know that at least for today, if nothing else, at least for today, we're looking at the threat for strong to severe storms from about Orlando off to the north. That does include Gainesville, Ocala, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Panama City. But in our area, you can see it includes like Orlando, North Brevard County, and points up to the north. So Volusia County, Northern Lake, Flagler, Marion, Northern Sumter. You're going to be under a level 1 risk for strong to severe storms. So what does that mean? Out of all the threats that we're tracking, it looks to me like winds are going to be the biggest threat, right? Tornado threat, isolated in nature as is always. Hail, isolated in nature as is always. But the strong to severe storms, those are going to be the bigger concerns, all right? So just keep that in mind for today. Certainly one of those cases of we'll watch, we'll track it. Best coverage of rain today is basically our entire area at 60%. It's going to be a healthy dose of showers and storms, all right? So that's where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? Want to talk about your dog? Right? Good morning to you, Kathy says over in Ormond Beach, can use the rain. Well, we've definitely got the storms in the forecast. Brian is asking weather history question. What year did they start naming systems for tropical storms and hurricanes? Very first ever named storm. I want to say it was 53. It was in the 50s. A simple Google search tells me, oh my God, 1953. Is that what I said? Oh my God. Every now and then my memory does win. Most of the time it does not. Yeah. In 1953, a simple Google search says In 1953, the United States began using female names for storms, and by 1978, both male and female storms were named. This was then adopted in 1979 for the Atlantic Basin. So there you go. Yeah. The list was established in 50. So there you go. There's your answer, Mr. Bryan. Linda says it hasn't rained in my part of Melbourne. Carrie, it has hardly rained in Indian Harbor Beach. LOL. Well, we'll get you some rain. It may be a minute. We'll get you some rain. Emily, good morning. From K&G, good morning. Might have to head over, say hello to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. Family coming Friday. Is it still going to be rainy? So the forecast, and I'll show it to you here. The forecast over the next couple of days does stay stormy through about Friday. Then into Saturday, Sunday, we kind of start to trend down in the rain coverage. Friday, to me, is going to be a day of question marks because that's when the high pressure area starts to lift to the north. Yesterday, I'll tell you, Friday had a 70% coverage last night. Kellyanne went with 50 because the model trends this morning show the high building in a little bit more. 40 to 50 is normal for Florida during the rainy season. So we're above normal rain chance-wise today, tomorrow, then normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if I'm honest with you, Friday is the question mark. It could either be normal or a little stormier than normal, depending on how quickly that little piece of high pressure rebuilds in our area. So definitely something to watch. Yeah. I hope that helps you. Friday, by the way, we've got high school football. I cannot believe it's time for this. Let's just chat about it because I made all the graphics yesterday and it was just wild going through and finding high school football games. It's already that time of year. First game, this is going to be such a cool game. Two of the longtime greats in Central Florida, the Osceola Cowboys and the Apopka Blue Darters. May have a quick shower, otherwise a nice muggy forecast. Early season football, that's exactly what you should expect. The Seminoles and the Edgewater Eagles, I think will be clearing out there, but do watch for rain if you're heading to Cocoa as Merritt Island comes over to town. Week one, and we've got, we've got great football ahead. A couple of showers for that one. Then Saturday, I'm so excited. It's not UCF football, but we're almost there. Saturday, the Bucks head to Nashville to take on the Titans. It's looking the most Tampa weather you could ask for. 87, humid as disgustingly possible for that 7 o'clock kick. It's a little bit earlier. And by halftime, they drop all the way to 80 degrees up there in Tennessee. A reminder, WESH 2 is your home for the Bucks. You can watch preseason coverage, 6:30 countdown to kickoff. Our sports team will be in Tennessee for this event and covering it, every aspect. Of course, we know Tom Brady is not going to be a part of it. He's handling some personal items, but it's preseason, so you wouldn't expect your GOAT to be playing. But I haven't heard, but I know that some more starters probably would start to trickle in. So yeah, there you go. Football. And then before you know it, y'all, it's college football time. It's almost here. I almost made the graphics yesterday. I almost made the graphic. Didn't, but almost made the graphics yesterday. I wanted to. All right, so that's where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns? Are you ready for college football? You're ready. There's no cover at the parks for rain or sun. Of course there are. You go into their gift shops, you spend money, right? So I'm making the drive tomorrow, Frankie says. It looks like my drive home will be a wet one. Just take it easy. Yeah. That's all. Probably not a good day to hang a shade screen. It'd be a good day to have a shade screen hung. If you think your microwave collecting data and the TV's... What? Oh, geez, a dad joke. I'm like, what's happening? Daniel's asking, major dune erosion in Flagler Beach. Any thoughts? Certainly that's not an ideal situation, but I know that's a battle that I think we just continuously face, right? That's just kind of a struggle. Certainly after hurricanes, after any storm, we have to rebuild that, though, because those dunes protect us, Kelly's asking, how are the tropics looking? Still sleepy? Oh, about that. The sleeping beast may be starting to, yeah, it might be starting to shuffle around a little bit. You know, like as a parent, you can see your kids and you're like, nah, they're starting to wake up. That's what we're thinking with the tropics. All right, I guess we should talk about the tropics. I've been putting it off just because it's not the greatest thing. All right. Off topic. I got rid of my pricey TV internet service and switched to another, just internet. How do I find NBC? I usually watch WESH 2 News and then Today Show, which cuts to WESH. So, Debbie, if you've got like YouTube TV and stuff, we're all there. If not, as long as you have internet, you could watch us on wesh.com, or you can, if you've got like an Amazon Fire Stick, if you say, Alexa, I don't want to say it too loud, but if you say like, launch stream player and then ask for WESH 2, it'll play. So anyway, there's many ways. We try to make it as easy as we can to help you out. Finally getting rain up north, indeed. All right, I'm just trying to make sure. Wow, I'm way behind in the comments. All right, so let's talk tropics. If I'm already way behind, let's just stay that way. Here's a look outside right now in Central America, and little CAG kind of firing up some decent convection as it works over toward Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula. Not a ton, but it's there. And models are starting to get a little more bullish with some sort of tropical development here. Over the next 5 days' time, Hurricane Center still going with a 20% chance, a low-end chance for development. I would say that out of everything, that those numbers are probably going to start to go up. The models are starting to key in on this, and as I'll show you, they're wanting to try and develop it. Not a threat to Central Florida at all. But South Texas, Mexico, could we be talking about some more flooding rains? It's definitely a possibility. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. So we'll have to take a look for sure. Right? Lots of fuel if it moves into the Gulf. Well, and Rosebud, another thing is Saharan dust is starting to calm. We're starting to see the Madden-Julian oscillation going into phase. So, and we're going to talk, there's a lot of tropics to talk about. Okay, so there's that. Before we go any deeper, an interesting stat a colleague of mine in New Orleans pointed out. You know how I love to look at data. A colleague of mine in New Orleans, who also follows the LRC, pointed this out, and I thought it was kind of brilliant. Today's ACE sits at 2.8. The 30-year average through today sits at 16. 3, 6, 9, 12. Like, we are so behind. Through today, last year, the ACE was sitting at 17.9. ACE stands for Accumulated Cyclonic Energy. It takes into account storm strength, storm size, length of storm duration, that whole thing. If you look at the ACE numbers, the last time we had today a 2.8, okay, is 1998. That was an El Nino year. This is not. This is a La Nina year, so that's what's crazy. So 1998, we tied. But what was the last year that was below 2.8? 1992. 30 years ago. We also know that 30 years ago today, they were tracking a depression that ends up becoming Hurricane Andrew. So the 1992 ACE numbers are going to start to go up very quickly here shortly. But that to be said, if you just round it to 3, right? So 3, 6, 9, 12. Like you could see we are way behind average. Through today, way less than half. Yeah. So the slowest start to tropical activity in 30 years. Isn't that something? How does a person out of area get the local WESH station? If you've got a Fire Stick, you can ask the person that I shall not name, launch Stream Player, and then you can ask to watch WESH. That's how you can watch it live. Watch on our website, that sort of thing. All right? All right, so that's where we're at. Very, very slow season. Very, very slow season, though things are going to start to wake up. So let's take a look. Let me minimize you. Let me switch to you. Let's look and see what's doing in the tropics, okay? Here is the 6Z run of the GFS operational model. And you can see there's, not much doing. Let's do this. Let's just start in the Caribbean because we've got that feature there. All right. And let's just run through time. All right, there's Saturday, Sunday. The GFS is not really trying to do much with it. You can kind of see some lowered pressures, but nothing crazy there. And then into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 26th of August, you can kind of see it's trying to throw something toward like the mouth of the Mississippi. And then if you look to the right of your screen, there's a big mamma jamma showing up, heading right for like Bermuda. That's a massive storm. And then right behind that, another one. As a matter of fact, let's just go back to the basin view. Okay, and let's just count together. We'll roll through. All right, so something maybe in the Gulf this weekend. GFS isn't going crazy with it. You've got a feature there in the Caribbean. You've got a feature in the Central Atlantic and a heck of a wave coming off the coast of Africa. So if we just stop right here, this is August 27th. Let's count. Gulf, Southern Atlantic, or Central Atlantic, I should say, Northern Atlantic. There are 3 features right there. And if we just keep going, there's 4th feature. Right? So you start to see where, and then there's a 5th feature there. So you start to see where the tropics are waking up. What's going on? Why all of a sudden does it wake up? That's the GFS. Let's switch over to the European and just see what the European's showing before we dive in any deeper. All right. Right there, let me just go to the Gulf view. Right there, you could kind of see off the coast of Mexico, there is a little something there, that 10-12 low on the left side of your screen there. That's the feature that we're watching now. Doesn't really do much, but it's trying to show something. And then around the 23rd, it's showing lowered pressure around Florida, right? So maybe something going on there. That's part of the LRC cycle. And then on the right side of your screen there, just something else. Let me go basin view wider, and you can see the Euro is less excited about that other storm system headed toward Bermuda. But then there's quite a wave coming off the coast of Africa heading toward the Cabo Verde Islands. All right, so let's pause and talk about the Madden-Julian oscillation. What is the Madden-Julian oscillation? That is an oscillation that basically tracks vorticity or spin. When you're in phase, you're going to develop stuff because the atmosphere is just wanting to spin. When you're out of phase, the atmosphere doesn't want to spin. The way that you could easily understand this is by looking at the Pacific these last few months. While the Atlantic has been chirp, chirp, chirp crickets, the Pacific has been like, let's go, bro. It's time to rumble. Well, now that MJO is phasing into the Atlantic, so the Pacific's going to quiet down. The Atlantic's going to start to wake up. And we can actually track that. This is the GFS model, and let's just watch through here and see how, you can kind of see how, the greens are out in the Pacific, but look to the Atlantic here. You start to see that green showing up there in the Atlantic. You see that? This is Monday, the 22nd of August, and you start to see those green shades in the Atlantic. That's showing that the Atlantic goes in phase, and really in phase, as a matter of fact. That's Thursday, August 25th. You see the darker greens? That is absolutely in phase. And then toward the end of August, it looks like it kind of fades out just a little bit into early September. But we've got a little window, and I'll just back this up here. We've got a little window where the Madden-Julian oscillation really goes in phase. So the end of August, don't be surprised when we start to see stuff developing in the tropics. Okay? That said, let's switch back over. I want to look at the ensemble. I know we're going super nerdy today, but sue me. All right, so let's go to the ensembles. We'll do the GFS, and we will do the ensemble plots. Okay, all right, so here we go. roll through time here, and you're going to see a bunch of circles when you start to see models bubbling stuff up. Remember, this is 51 different versions of a model. So right there, for example, there's a couple of models trying to show stuff down in the Caribbean. It's not like, it's not like there's a model saying that there's going to be 5 storms. It's 5 different models saying, something down in this area, right? So we start to watch some activity around the Caribbean, and you can kind of start to see around August 30th, a lot of those ensembles are actually now trying to say, hello, Florida. And that's the advantage of ensemble members versus operational, because the operational model gives you 1 plot. The ensemble gives you 50, give or take, depending on the model, right? So we're starting to see ensemble consistency here for Florida East Coast, Southeast United States, Cuba, the Bahamas, right? You start to see that. And I would say it looks like half of them are going to want to kind of recurve. The other half are going to kind of want to knock on Florida's doorstep there. So that's interesting on the GFS ensemble, right? Let's go over and switch to the European ensemble, and then I'll take your questions, I promise. All right, let's roll through. There we go. There are those same things. Now, the European looks to be a little slower, but it's still putting the idea of stuff in our neighborhood, right? So this is way out. You're talking 360 hours out. That's 15 days out. This is September 1st, right? So I'm not saying that this is going to happen at all. What I'm instead saying is that, we need to be watching, because while we've been discussing this low ace and the slowest start of hurricane season in 30 years, it's important to note that that can change on a dime, and it's going to change. The peak of hurricane season is essentially right around the corner. The first couple of days of September typically are the peak of season. All right, so that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns? Scary for me. My mom was pregnant with me during Andrew. Oh, yeah. Michael, you actually... It's almost impossible to do that. But there are ways. Yeah. There are ways. If they get close, will it join or bust it? Rosebud, I guess I don't understand the question. If they get close, will it join or bust it up? I don't know what you mean. The Northern Pacific has been really quiet too. Yes. Yep. Love nerdy. Yeah, thank you, Debbie. That's what I love about Coffee Talk, is us chatting and getting to be a little nerdy. Mercy likes it nerdy too. Very good, very good. Thank you, Melissa. Got to get exercising, doctor's appointment at 10. Very good. All right, so any questions about the ensembles or anything? That is late for the LRC recycle. I think if model is right, can it happen outside of the LRC recycle? Remember, the LRC cycles are plus or minus a couple of days, and the model is guidance, not gospel. If we look to the LRC for the month of August, Mid-Atlantic, probably not. I would guess that if these features are that Florida feature, 26th through the 28th, is it a couple of days late? Could be. Could it be that the models are a little off? Could be. But it's there. The LRC does favor that time frame there. So, that's not the craziest thing. And that, at least according to the LRC, that's the October 11th storm system. What is the October 11th part of the pattern? It's the east coast of Florida. So that does make sense. Late August. That does make sense. That fits the LRC pattern. Shannon says 28 weeks pregnant tomorrow. Keep those storms away. Don't need thinking he gets some early. Listen, Alexander came early because of Isaias. Well, I don't know if that's why, or my wife just likes to have kids early, but that's that. Brandon, are there any more models or anything to show for the storms? No, at this point, it's just looking at ensembles, global ensemble models and things like that. And Catherine's asking, remember, when we look at ensembles, it's not that they can merge. It's different models plotting. Like, it's not like there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not like there's 10 different lows. It's the same area of low pressure that 10 different versions of the model are showing. think of an ensemble like this. Let me show you. This is what an ensemble is. It's a bunch of different models. And all I do is I use one screen to kind of summarize them. Okay, so it's not like there's going to be 20 different areas of low pressure coming to Florida. That's the same area of low pressure. It's just the different models are initializing it different ways. And again, this is definitely not something that we would show on TV, but on Coffee Talk we get a little more nerdy. So, I'll show it to you. And I just don't want you, there's no Fujiwara effect on this because it's only one low, but it's different ensemble members trying to indicate that low. Yeah, I know that it can be a little confusing, and I want to make sure to help you out with that. People that came in late when you were explaining the ensembles might have thought those were individual storms. Got it. Yeah, those are not individual storms. It's one storm system that there are 50 different models kind of thrown on one screen at the same time. It's just an easier way for us to look at it. Yeah, it's just an easier way for us to look at it. Mickey, the BSR doesn't change. It's exactly what I showed you yesterday. The BSR, once it's established, it's established. So that's where we're at with the BSR. It indicates something. It doesn't go bonkers, but it indicates something. There's a weak signal. All right. Yep, same from yesterday, Anthony. Curious when a storm system is next to Mexico and could cross over to the opposite side. What point in Mexico does it change sides from the Atlantic system to the Pacific system and vice versa? Oh, I see. As soon as it hits the other ocean is when it transitions. So if it makes landfall in Mexico from the Atlantic, its entire trek across Mexico, it would be an Atlantic storm. Then, as it moves out, once it reemerges into the Pacific, that's when it would receive a name. Yeah. All right. Real nerd time, Paul says. What, if any, effect have on long-term climate? I'm a meteorologist, not a climate. Yeah, I mean, you're talking the changes in tens of thousands of years and hundreds of years. Yeah, that's a whole other, that's people that study climate. I will not pretend that I'm a climatologist. That's for the real nerds. Has the BSR prediction proven to be more accurate than the ensemble models? I wouldn't say any one is more or less accurate. The BSR is just another tool in the tool chest, and that's it. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't go that far. All right? Man, if that was a prediction of multiple storms. Oh, I know, Chris. That'd be too much for me. That would be too much for me. All right, any questions, comments, concerns? Any more support for another cold front at the end of August? I mean, there's a front that's just north of us for sure, but there's not. I've not said that we're going to be getting cool in the end of August. Never have, never will. Yeah. Brian, sorry for the duplicate question. I didn't know if you missed it or not. Brian, did I miss? I think you're fine. Oh, I see. Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, the crossover thing. Yeah, no, you're fine. All right, so for today, a stormy 60% coverage of rain. Same thing for tomorrow. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we kind of get back to normal. All right? All right, Stormy Ramsey. How many days out can the models be somewhat accurate? Frankly, it's a case-by-case basis. A couple of days. We're looking 10-plus days out, 15 days out. It gets less. There's even one model that we look at that's, 30 days out. So it's... the further out you go, the less accurate they are. All right? All right, that's all I got for you. Time to go hang out with Pop. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you today for WESH 2 News at noon. And, of course, we will have the afternoon coffee talk at 3:30. All right, y'all? Hurricane season waking up. Blah. Bye.